Hello children, I hope you all are doing good. Hope you are taking good care of yourself, isn't it? So children, today we will begin with our next lesson, that is lesson number 4. Okay? So here we go. In this lesson, we will come across the O letter words. There will be many such words which will begin with O. I have given you some examples. For example, write O for orange, O for owl, O for onion, O for octopus. There are many other words also which begins with the letter O. And in the left hand side, I have written capital O as well as small o. Understood? So my dear children, today I will tell you a very interesting story. And it is a story of an ox. O for ox. And what is the name of the ox? Again, O for otis. The name of the ox is Otis. So this story is about an ox and the name of the ox is Otis. Let us first read these difficult words which is there in your chapter by breaking them into syllables. Now children, can you tell me what are syllables? Yes, we have already done in our previous chapters. Whenever we get a very bigger words, we break them into 2 or 3 syllables, okay, so that it is easy for us to speak, okay. For example, these are the words which is there in the chapter. I have taken some of the words, okay. So the first one is horns. It has 1 syllable, no breaking. Fine. Coming to the next one, orange. It has 2 syllable, orange. Then coming to hooves. It has 1 syllable. Outside. 2 syllables, outside. Walked. It has got 1 syllable. Crossed. It has got 1 syllable. Under. It has got 2 syllables. Understood? Whenever you find a bigger word, you break them into syllables and then you spell out that word. Am I clear? Okay, coming on to the next slide. Now, the name of our chapter is Otis the Ox. And here what do you see? A picture of an ox. Now you'll be wondering, now why did I, have this picture of an ox here? Now, by drawing this picture of an ox, I want you to understand the difficult words that you will find in the chapter. While reading through the chapter, you will find some difficult words. At that time, you will not be able to understand. So, before that, I want you to understand the different parts of the body of an ox, and then whenever we go to the chapter, it would be easy for you to understand. Okay, now children, do you know what are horns? Yes, you can find those horns on the top of the head. Okay, you can find, yes, those are called horns. Now do you know children, which is the tail? Yes, this is the tail. Now what is a fur? Yes, the orange and the yellow colored or the brown color, you can say, the ox, the skin of an ox is filled with fur. And what are these, you can find some grayish thing which is there in the legs. Those are known as hooves. Okay, so we will find these words like horns, tail, fur, hooves in the chapter Otis the Ox. The moment I read the lines, then you will be able to understand that which part or which body part of the ox I am talking about. Okay, and that would be easy for you to understand. Am I right? Okay, so let's go to the next slide. So here is the chapter. I will read this chapter and then I will explain you line by line so that it is very easy for you to understand. So are we ready? Yes. Otis the Ox. This is the name of the chapter. Otis was an old ox. So who was Otis? Otis was an old, very old, okay? You can find, who are old children? The people who are very weak. They are not so strong like us, okay? Those people are called old. So here the ox whose name is Otis, he was an old ox. Otis had horns on his head. Remember I showed you horns? So Otis had horns on his head. And where do we find horns? We find horns on the head. So Otis had horns on his head. Otis had one tail. We saw the tail also. Otis had one tail. Otis had orange and brown fur. The body of the ox Otis is covered with orange and brown fur. Otis had big hooves. You could find hooves. Where did you find? On the legs. Yes. So you saw that Otis had big hooves. He lived outside on his own. So where did this the ox Otis lived? He lived outside on his own. On his own, of his own, he lived outside the house. He only ate plants. So what was the food that Otis had? He only ate plants. Okay, that was the only food which Otis the ox had. He walked over the hills. Walked, he went over the hills. Just imagine, he could easily walk over the hills. Hills are the mountains, okay, that you find. Okay, understood? Hills are another word of hills as mountains. So, Otis could easily walk over the hills. He crossed the river once. What happened is that he even crossed a river. River, you know? Yes, he even crossed a river once. So once Otis had already crossed the river also. I'm sure many of you must have seen a river, okay, and must have been, have crossed a river too, like Otis the ox, okay. He slept under the moon. So where did Otis sleep? He slept under the moon. Where do we sleep? We sleep in our own house, right? But Otis, he is an animal. And where does he used to sleep? He slept under the moon. So this is the story of Otis the ox. I hope children you have understood this story. Okay. In case if you have any problem, if you find any difficulties in any of the words, any of the lines that I have explained you, just go through my video once again. You will understand it and your concept will be clear. All the difficult word will be clear to you. Okay, am I clear? Okay children, so before I go on to the next video, my next video will be with the exercises of this chapter. Okay, so children, until we meet next, stay at home, stay safe, enjoy life, enjoy all the food that your parents give. Okay, listen to your parents and be happy. Bye bye children, take care of yourself.